Welcome to English Flow. And right now, before you say a single word, I want you to do something. I want you to take a breath, a slow, deep breath, because what I am about to share with you today is not another grammar lesson. It is not a list of phrases. It is not another channel telling you to watch more English movies, and everything will magically improve. No, what I'm going to give you today is the real, honest, powerful truth about how to talk in English and why you've been struggling for so long without anyone telling you the actual reason. Here's a question. Think about it honestly. When was the last time you had a full conversation in English without freezing, without that horrible moment when your mind goes blank and the words just disappear? Without that tight feeling in your chest when someone speaks to you and you nod and smile because your mouth simply refuses to open? If that moment happened recently, if it happened this week, yesterday, or even this morning, then this video was made for you. I built this video for every person who knows English but cannot talk in English. For every person who has studied for months or years but still feels like it begins the moment they open their mouth. For every person who silently watches others speak fluently and wonders, why not me? Today, that question gets answered. Today, we are not going to talk about English. We are going to unlock it. We're going to dig into the real reasons you struggle to talk, build a powerful daily system that will transform your speaking forever. And by the time this video ends, you'll feel something shift inside you. Not someday, not after another course, right now. So take another breath. Stay with me until the very last word. And let us begin. Part 1. Why you cannot talk in English. The truth that changes everything. Let us start with the most important thing you will hear today. The reason you cannot talk in English has nothing to do with how much English you know. Read that again and let it land. The reason you cannot talk in English has nothing to do with how much English you know. Because here is what I see every single day. I see people who can read English novels. I see people who understand every word in an English movie. I see people who score high on grammar tests and know vocabulary that even native speakers do not use. And yet, the moment they walk into a room and someone says, "Hey, tell me about yourself," they freeze completely. Their brain stops. Their mouth stops. And they stand there feeling embarrassed, feeling small, feeling like all those years of study meant absolutely nothing. So if it is not about knowledge, what is it about? It is about one thing. It is about the gap, the enormous, invisible gap between passive English and active English. Passive English is the English you consume. It is the English you absorb when you read, listen, and watch. Active English is completely different. Active English is the English you produce. It is the English you create in real time, under pressure, while someone is standing in front of you waiting for you to speak. These are two entirely different skills. And here's the brutal truth. You have been training only one of them. Think about it like learning to drive a car. You can read every driving manual ever written. You can watch hours of driving videos. You can sit in the passenger seat and observe expert drivers for years. But the moment you sit behind the steering wheel for the first time, your hands shake, your foot hesitates on the pedal, and your eyes cannot focus on everything at once. Why? Not because you lack knowledge, but because the skill of driving requires a different type of training, a physical, active, practice type of training that only happens when you're actually doing it. Talking in English is exactly the same. You've been sitting in the passenger seat. Today, we put you behind the wheel. There is one more truth I need to tell you, and this one is perhaps the most powerful of all. You're not afraid of English. You are afraid of judgment. You are afraid of sounding wrong. You are afraid of people laughing at you or thinking less of you, or seeing the real you, the version of you that is still learning, still growing, still becoming. And that fear, that deep and very human fear, is a wall between you and fluency. But here's what I know about walls. They are not permanent. They are not stronger than you. And when you have the right tools, the right system, and the right mindset, walls come down. That is what we are building today. Let us go. Part 2. The foundation. What it really means to talk in English. Before we get into the system, before we talk about techniques and routines and daily practice, I need to give you something even more fundamental. I need to give you a new understanding of what it actually means to talk in English, because most people have it completely wrong. And that wrong understanding is the reason they stay stuck. Most people think that talking in English means translating. They believe that talking in English means you first form a thought in your native language, then you find the right English words for that thought, then you arrange those words into a sentence, and finally you say that sentence out loud. Do you know how long that process takes? By the time you finish translating inside your head, the conversation has moved on, the moment has passed, and you are left standing there with a perfectly formed sentence that you never got to say. This is a translation trap. And millions of learners are stuck inside it right now. Real talking, true, natural, fluent talking is not translation. Real talking is reaction. When a native English speaker talks, they are not translating from another language. They are reacting directly to the world around them in English. They see something and immediately describe it in English. They feel something and immediately express it in English. They hear a question and immediately respond to it in English. There is no middleman. There is no translation layer. English is the first and only language their brain reaches for in that moment. And that direct, instant emotional connection between thought and English words is exactly what you need to build. It is called English fluency. And it is not something you find. It is something you build day by day, sentence by sentence, conversation by conversation. Now, here is the beautiful part. You do not have to be perfect to start building it. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need a perfect accent. You do not need to know thousands of words. You need courage. You need consistency. And you need the system I am about to give you. Because the person who speaks imperfect English confidently will always communicate better than the person who knows perfect English but stays silent. Confidence is the first language. Let that sink in. Confidence is the first language. And today we build it. Part 3, the daily 8-minute talk training system. Here is my promise to you. If you follow this system, just 8 minutes every single morning, for the next 30 days, the way you talk in English will be unrecognizable, not just different, unrecognizable. Your voice will sound more natural. Your sentences will come out faster. Your confidence will rise higher than you ever thought possible. 8 minutes. That is our contract today. Here is a complete system, step by step. Step 1, the daily starter sentence. The first thing you do every morning, before coffee, before your phone, before anything, is speak one sentence in English out loud. Just one. Something about your morning. Something about your day. Something about how you feel. For example, today is going to be a great day and I am ready for it. Or, I woke up feeling tired but I am choosing to be productive. Or even something simple like, good morning, it is Wednesday and I have a lot to do today. Say it out loud, with real voice, not a whisper, not in your head. Out loud, with energy, like you mean every word. Why does this matter? Because the first English sentence of the day is the hardest one. It breaks the silence. It wakes up the part of your brain that thinks in English. It shifts your mind from native language mode into English speaking mode. And once you break that silence, every English sentence that follows becomes easier. Most people spend the first hour of their day in their native language and then wonder why talking in English feels like lifting a heavy weight later in the day. Your brain needs a warm-up just like your body does. One sentence. Every morning. That is your ignition. Step 2, the think out loud practice. This technique is one of the most powerful and most underused tools in English learning. And it costs absolutely nothing. Here is how it works. For 2 minutes every morning, you narrate your life in English, out loud. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are seeing, whatever you are thinking, you say it in English. You are walking to the kitchen and you say, I am walking to the kitchen. The floor feels cold. I need to make my coffee. You're looking out the window and you say, it looks cloudy outside. I think it might rain today. I should bring an umbrella. You are getting dressed and you say, I cannot decide what to wear. Maybe the blue shirt. Yes, the blue shirt looks good. This practice does something incredibly powerful to your brain. It eliminates the translation trap. When you narrate your real life in English, your brain stops searching for translation because there is no time for translation. Things are happening right now and you are describing them right now. Your brain learns to attach English words directly to real experiences, real feelings, real moments. This is exactly how children become fluent in their first language. They talk about what they see. They talk about what they do. They talk about what they feel. And over time, those words become automatic. Those sentences become instinctive. The language becomes theirs. That is what we are doing here. We are making English yours. Step 3, the mirror conversation. Stand in front of your mirror, look into your own eyes, and have a conversation with yourself in English. I know, it feels strange. It might even feel a little silly the first few times. That is completely okay. Do it anyway. Ask yourself a question and answer it. What are your plans for today? Then answer. Today I am planning to finish my work early. Then I want to go for a walk in the evening. Ask another one. What is something you're proud of this week? Then answer that too. I am proud of myself for practicing English every day this week. I know I am getting better. Why the mirror? Because talking in English is not just about sound. It is about presence. It is about the way your face moves, the way your eyes connect, the way your body carries confidence or collapses into fear. The mirror forces you to see yourself while you speak. It shows you when you are tense, when you are rushing, when you are looking down in shame instead of up in confidence. And every day you practice in front of that mirror, you become more comfortable with a version of yourself that speaks English. You stop hiding from that person. You start becoming that person. By day 10, the mirror will feel like your best practice partner. By day 20, you will walk into real conversations with a level of presence that people will notice and respect. Step 4, the daily question challenge. Every single day, pick one question, just one, and spend 2 minutes answering it out loud in full sentences in English. These are not test questions. These are real-life questions, the kind of questions that come up in real conversations. Here are some examples to get you started. What did you do last weekend? What is your favorite food, and why do you love it? Describe your hometown to someone who has never been there. What is a goal you are working toward right now? If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and what would you do there? Pick one of these, or make up your own. Then answer it out loud for a full 2 minutes. Do not stop when you run out of easy things to say. Keep going. Say simple things. Repeat yourself if you have to. Use whatever words you know. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to keep talking. Because the single most important skill in spoken English is not vocabulary. It is not grammar. It is the ability to keep the conversation moving even when you are not sure what to say next. Fluent speakers do this all the time. They use filler phrases. They repeat things slightly differently. They circle back. They say, what I mean is, or let me put another way. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of real spoken English. Practice them. Own them. Step 5, record and listen. This is a step most people skip, and it is one of the most important steps of all. Every day, record yourself for just 60 seconds. Use your phone. Say anything, your answer to the daily question, your morning narration, anything. Then immediately play it back and listen. Not to judge yourself, not to feel embarrassed, but to hear your progress. The first time you hear your recorded voice speaking English, it might surprise you. You might sound different from how you imagined. That is completely normal. Every human being sounds different on a recording than in their head. But here is what happens. On day 3, you will hear something a little smoother. On day 7, you will hear more confidence. On day 15, you will hear a different person, a more fluent, more comfortable, more real English speaker emerging from inside you. That person has always been there. You are just finally listening to them. Your 8-minute daily summary looks like this. The daily starter sentence takes 1 minute. Speak your first English sentence of the day out loud. The think out loud practice takes 2 minutes. Narrate your life in English as it happens. The mirror conversation takes 2 minutes. Ask yourself questions and answer them in front of the mirror. The daily question challenge takes 2 minutes. Answer one real-life question in full sentences for 2 minutes. Record and listen takes 1 minute. Record 60 seconds and play it back. Total time is 8 minutes. Total transformation is real. Part 4. The language of conversation. How to talk like a real person. Now let us talk about something that textbooks never teach. The real language of English conversation. Not the English of grammar books. Not the English of formal essays. The English that real people use when they are talking to each other in real life. This is the English that sounds natural. This is the English that makes people say, "Wow, your English is so good." And the secret is, it is not complicated. In fact, it is simpler than what you've been studying. Real spoken English has 3 characteristics that make it sound natural. It uses connection sounds. It uses conversational phrases. And it uses the flow of thought rather than the structure of sentences. Let me explain each one. Connection sounds are the small sounds and words that native speakers use to link their thoughts together naturally. Words like, well, so, actually, basically, right, and kind of. These words do not carry specific meaning on their own, but they carry conversation. They keep the flow of talking alive. They give the speaker a tiny moment to think without the conversation falling silent. When you say, well, I think the best approach is, you sound like a real speaker. When you say, so basically what happened was, you sound natural. When you say, it is kind of difficult to explain, but you sound like someone who is actually talking, not someone who is reciting from a textbook. Practice these connection sounds. Use them every day. Let them become automatic. Conversational phrases are short, powerful expressions that real speakers use dozens of times a day. They are not complicated. They are not advanced vocabulary, but they're the phrases that make your English sound alive. Here are some of the most powerful ones you need to master. That makes sense. Use this when you understand something. I totally get that. Use this when you relate to someone. To be honest with you, use this before sharing your real opinion. What I mean is, use this when you want to rephrase or explain. You know what I mean? Use this to check if the other person is following you. Let me think about that for a second. Use this when you need a moment to gather your thoughts. That is such a good point. Use this to respond positively to something someone says. These phrases are the building blocks of real conversation. They are not fancy. They are functional. And once you start using them, you will sound dramatically more natural in every single conversation you have. The flow of thought is perhaps the most transformative concept in this entire video. In a textbook, every sentence is complete. Every sentence is perfect. Every sentence stands alone. But in real spoken English, people do not talk in perfect sentences. They talk in flows of thought. One idea leads to another. One sentence is incomplete, but the next sentence finishes it. A speaker might say, the thing is, and I know this might sound strange, but I actually prefer working late at night because... And that sentence keeps going, keeps building, keeps flowing. This is not bad English. This is real English. And when you stop trying to make every sentence perfect before you say it, and you start letting your thoughts flow naturally from one idea to the next, your English will immediately sound more authentic, more confident, and more fluent. Part 5. Talking through fear, the mindset that unlocks your voice. We have talked about technique. We have talked about practice. Now we need to talk about the real barrier, the one that no practice routine can overcome by itself. We need to talk about fear, because you can have the best system in the world. But if your mind is filling with fear every time you try to speak, your voice will keep getting stuck. So let us face this directly. Let us look fear in the eye and understand it. Because only when you understand something can you truly overcome it. Fear of speaking English comes from one core belief, the belief that you will be judged, the belief that when you make a mistake, people will think less of you, that when your grammar is wrong, they will secretly laugh, that when you cannot find a word, they will see you as unintelligent. This belief feels real. It feels powerful. But I want to tell you something. It is completely and utterly wrong. Think about the last time someone spoke to you in your native language with an accent. Think about the last time someone tried to communicate with you and made small grammatical errors. Did you laugh at them? Did you think they were unintelligent? Or did you feel something else? Did you feel respect? Did you feel admiration for the fact that they were trying, that they were brave enough to communicate in a language that was not their own? Most people feel the second thing. Most people look at someone who is trying to speak a foreign language and they feel nothing but respect. And the people who listen to you speak English, they feel the same way about you. Here is a mindset shift that will change how you approach every conversation. Stop thinking of English mistakes as failures. Start thinking of them as proof. Proof that you are trying. Proof that you are growing. Proof that you're doing something millions of people are too afraid to do. Every mistake you make in English is a badge of courage. It means you open your mouth. It means you took the risk. It means you chose growth over comfort. And that is something to be proud of, not ashamed of. The most fluent English speakers you know made thousands of mistakes to get where they are. The difference between them and the person who is still silent is simple. They kept going. They made the mistake. They felt the embarrassment, and then they tried again. That is fluency. That is how it is built, not in perfect sentences, in persistent effort. There is one more mindset tool I want to give you, and it is incredibly powerful. It is called the 5-second rule of speaking. The next time you're in a situation where you want to speak English, but fear is telling you to stay quiet, I want you to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then speak. Not after 5 seconds of perfect planning. Not after you have translated the sentence in your head. Just count and then open your mouth and let something come out. Because what happens in those 5 seconds before you speak is that your brain starts looking for reasons to stay silent. It starts listing every way you might sound wrong. It starts painting pictures of embarrassment. And the only way to stop that process is to interrupt it. Count, then speak, even if it comes out imperfect. Even if you have to rephrase halfway through. Even if you stutter for a second. You spoke. And that is everything. Part 6. The power of small conversations. Building fluency in real life. Now, let us talk about how to take everything you have practiced in your room, in front of your mirror, in your 8-minute morning routine, and bring it into the real world. Because the ultimate goal is not to speak English in private. The ultimate goal is to talk in English with real people, in real situations, in real life. And the secret to doing that without overwhelming yourself is this. Start small. Start with micro-conversations. A micro-conversation is any exchange of 2 to 5 sentences in English with another person. It could be ordering a coffee and then saying, "Thank you so much, have a great day." It could be responding to a colleague's question with a full answer instead of a one-word response. It could be starting a sentence in English with someone you usually talk to in another language. It could be commenting on something in an online video in English. It could be asking someone, "How is your day going?" And then actually listening to the answer and responding to it. These small moments are not insignificant. These small moments are where fluency is actually built. Because fluency is not something that happens in a classroom or in a language lab. Fluency happens in the tiny, daily, repeated moments of real communication. Here's a challenge for you. Starting tomorrow, I want you to have at least 3 micro-conversations in English every single day. They can be with anyone. They can be in person, online, on the phone, or even in the comment section below this video right now. 3 micro-conversations per day. That is 21 per week. That is over 80 per month. By the time 3 months have passed, you'll have had hundreds of real English conversations, and your brain will have built the neural pathways of a confident English speaker. Not because of a textbook, not because of a test, but because you showed up every day and you talked. Here is something else that will transform the way you have conversations. Learn to ask questions. This is one of the most underestimated skills in English conversation. When you ask a good question, 2 things happen. First, the other person starts talking, which gives you time to listen, to absorb, and to think about what you want to say next. Second, you sound engaged, you sound curious, you sound like someone who is actively participating in the conversation. Questions like, "What do you think about that?" And "How did that make you feel?" And "Can you tell me more about that?" And "What happened next?" And "Do you think that is going to change?" These questions keep conversations alive. They show interest. And they give you the gift of a few extra seconds to gather your thoughts before it is your turn to speak again. Questions are not a crutch. They are a conversation superpower. Part 7, the Weekly English Talk Challenge. Now I want to give you something specific. A week-by-week challenge that will build your confidence in a way that feels manageable, achievable, and deeply satisfying. Because one of the reasons people give up on speaking English is that they try to go from complete silence to full fluency overnight. They try to have a perfect conversation on day one. They fail. They feel discouraged. And they stop. We are not going to do that. We are going to build slowly, steadily, and powerfully. In week 1, your only job is to complete the 8-minute daily system every morning and have 3 micro-conversations per day. Nothing more. No pressure to be perfect. No pressure to have long conversations. Just show up for 8 minutes in the morning and talk to 3 people or in 3 situations during the day. At the end of week 1, you will already feel different. You will feel the momentum building. In week 2, you add one thing. Every evening, spend 5 minutes talking about your day in English, not writing about it, talking about it, out loud. Tell yourself what happened, how you felt, what you learned, what was good and what was hard. Make it real. Make it emotional. Talk about your day the way you would talk to a close friend. This daily reflection builds your ability to tell stories in English, which is one of the most important conversation skills there is. In week 3, you add another layer. You find one English conversation partner, a real person, a language exchange app, an online community, anything, and you commit to one short conversation in English per week. Just one, 10 to 15 minutes. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be impressive. It just has to happen. Because talking with a real person in real time with no script and no preparation is the ultimate test of everything you've been building, and you are ready for it. In week 4, you put it all together. 8-minute morning system, 3 micro-conversations per day, evening daily reflection, 1 weekly conversation partner. And at the end of week 4, you look back at where you started. You listen to your day 1 recording, and you hear the transformation. You hear the person you are becoming, day by day, sentence by sentence, conversation by conversation. Part 8, the final truth. Your voice is already inside you. I need you to hear this. I need you to really, truly hear this, because it is the most important thing I will say in this entire video. Your English voice, the confident, natural, flowing English voice that you dream of having, it already exists inside you. It is not something you need to find. It is not something you need to be given. It is not something that lives on the other side of a better course, a better textbook, or a better teacher. It is already in you. It is buried under years of fear, years of judgment, years of staying silent, years of believing that fluency was for other people but not for you. But it is there. It has always been there. And everything we have done in this video, every technique, every step, every mindset shift has been about removing the things that cover it so that your real voice can finally emerge. I want you to think about every time in your life when you wanted to say something in English and did not. Every conversation you watched from the outside. Every opportunity you let pass because your fear was louder than your courage. Those moments are not lost. They are not proof that you cannot do this. They are fuel. They are the reason you are sitting here right now, watching this video, wanting something better. They're the reason that starting tomorrow, starting today, starting right now, you are going to do something different. You are going to train. You are going to practice. You are going to speak. Even when it is hard, even when it is imperfect, even when your voice shakes, you are going to speak anyway. Because here's the final truth. The people who become fluent in English are not the ones with the best memory. They are not the ones who took the most expensive courses. They are not the ones who were born with some special talent for language. They are the ones who refused to stay silent. They are the ones who made the mistake, felt the embarrassment, and then opened their mouth again the very next day. They are the ones who showed up in the mirror, in the micro-conversations, in the daily practice. Even when it felt hard, even when it felt slow, even when no one else could see the progress. That is who they are. And starting today, that is who you are too. So here's what I am asking you to do right now. 3 things. First, subscribe to English Flow. Hit that button right now, because next week there's another video, another system, another breakthrough waiting for you, and you need to be here for it. Second, share this video with someone you know who is also trying to speak English, because someone in your life right now is struggling in silence, feeling exactly the way you felt before this video, and they deserve to hear this truth as much as you did. Give them that gift. Third, and most importantly, go to the comment section right now and type these words. I will talk in English every single day, no matter what. Type it. Say it out loud as you type it, because a commitment spoken is a commitment made, and you have never been more ready to make it. This is English Flow. Your voice is ready. Your courage is real. Your fluency is coming. Not someday, not eventually, but now, word by word and day by day. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Open your mouth and talk.